This is probably one of my bigger bucks to date.
Guys, I cannot believe that actually worked.
Looks like a double long shot.
It was hot, really hot.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch a man versus deer video. A lot of my content, in fact most of my content, is hunting based, and specifically it's catch, clean, cook based. I like to show the hunt, I like to show how I cleaned it, and then I like to show how I ate it. If you're into that sort of thing, consider subscribing and definitely check out the other videos. You're gonna like what you see, I promise. So a couple of years ago, I tried saddle hunting. I gave it an honest effort for a full season. I was rocking a sit drag style DIY saddle with a rock harness and a homemade lineman's belt, and I was using a ring of steps. And when I look back and I reflect on my saddle hunting about 3 years ago, I think my main pain points were all staggered around the ring of steps. They weren't solid, they didn't give me a good platform, it was hard to get comfortable on them, and I think that's the reason I never stuck with saddle hunting. Well, when I seen the XOP setup for the Renegade and the Edge coming in at $200, it was such a good deal, I had to try it, and that's what today's video is going to be about. We're going to unbox this thing, we're going to show you what's in it, we're going to weigh it, we're going to modify the saddle specifically for saddle hunting because it's actually a fall, like a safety harness system and a saddle, and because of that reason it's got a few extra things on it. So we're going to set it up specifically for saddle hunting, and then we're going to get an actual weight on using this as a saddle hunting setup. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the unboxing part of this video. I'm just going to open it up and show you guys everything that this package comes with. So when we open up the box with this thing, we've got what I'm assuming to be is an instruction manual. We've got the actual platform itself. This thing is supposed to have a 350 pound weight limit. It's supposed to be 5.4 pounds, but with the buckle, a lot of the other videos I'm watching say it's closer to 6 pounds, and it feels like it, to be honest. It's a little heavier. It's not as heavy as a tree stand, but it's heavier than you would think. We have a Versa strap. I'm guessing that this is for the platform. And then we have some straps here. I'm not honestly sure what they're for yet. We'll have to get into this thing and see exactly what we're supposed to do with these guys. They look to be like some kind of Versa strap, but we'll look at the instructions and see what they're for. And then we have our bag that our saddle and all of our bridge rope and tether rope and carabiners are in it. This thing feels heavy too. It feels just as heavy as the platform, but a lot of these carabiners are heavy steel carabiners. I have some light grade or heavy grade aluminum climbing ones that are going to be quite a bit lighter. I'll probably replace those with, but let's see what's in here. So we have a bridge with a prusik tied in it. I'm guessing that's what this is a bridge, and it's got a prusik tied right into it. We have another one exactly like it. I'm guessing one's a tether and one's a bridge. Let's see if one's longer than the other one or if they're the same size or what. They look to be almost identical in size. So one is probably your tether, one is probably your bridge. Boy, this thing comes with all kinds of ropes. We have another rope with a carabiner on it. So there's a total of 3 different ropes with 3 different carabiners. And then I think all that leaves is, so this is the saddle straight out of the bag. A lot of people are kind of daunted by this. It doesn't look too bad to me. Like most fall arrest systems, it's got a shock absorber right here, so I know this goes up top. These have to be shoulder straps. And I know from watching other videos that these outside leg straps are more for the fall safety, and that the bottom ones that come through are your saddle ones. So
Just have to figure out where these go here. I think they lock in right here, if I'm not mistaken. And then you're just going to have to pull this strap tight. And do the same thing on the other side. Put this guy right in here. Pull this strap tight. This guy goes right here. I'm going to have to adjust these a little bit. They're a little bit loose. So I'm going to pull this right here. And we've almost got this thing sized up. I haven't had it on but for a minute or so. So it's definitely easy to adjust. And it's fairly adjustable. I think this would fit the smallest guy or the biggest guy. I mean, they leave a lot of strap in here, so there's a lot of room to like really play with this thing and get it exactly where you want it. Yeah, it feels pretty comfy to me, to be honest. That feels like it's going to fit really, really well. This strap and this strap, I believe, can go. This fall rest thing, since I'm going to be using this 100% primarily as a saddle, can go. And I believe I got a pretty decent setup here.
So now at this point in the video, I'm going to stop and I'm going to make all the mods that I'm going to do. I'm going to take away all the excess straps, all the straps that I don't need, all the things that came on it that I'm not going to use. I'm going to take everything off of the saddle and I'm going to put everything that I'm not using in a pile. And then once I do that, we're going to get a weight on the platform. I'm also going to put it together, and then we're going to get a weight on the modded saddle. Be right back. Okay guys, after all that, this is what my modded saddle looks like. I've taken away the back, the shock absorbing fall thing for the safety straps here. I took away some straps here. I cut away 2 straps right here and here. And then I took all the tags off and left myself about 6 inches after I was mostly snugged up. Now I'm not all the way snugged up, because there's some instances where I'm hunting in the winter where I'm going to be pretty padded up. So I got like fairly close to tight and then left myself about 6 inches on top of that. Now, for the bridge, I do not want an adjustable bridge. I don't want to carry an extra carabiner. So I gave myself enough that I can loop that bridge over the top of my head when I'm walking. And I'm hoping that that's going to be sufficient. I left myself enough rope that I can lengthen that out if I need to. And then if I get up into a tree and I decide I want it shorter, I can trim the excess off. And I've got a bridge that's already tied into the saddle. So that's the modded saddle. Now I'm going to take my camera and I'm going to show you all the gear that I cut away from this setup by doing the saddle mods. Okay guys, this is all the gear I've cut away from the mod. These are straps that go to the platform. Not going to need them, so they're in the pile. This is a lineman's belt and an extra tether, I'm guessing, maybe for the safety harness, but these steel carabiners are extremely heavy. This rope is extra, don't need it, it goes into pile 2. I got the shock absorbing rope off the back of this for if you were going to use it as a safety harness, that can go. There was a strap for that safety harness, a metal carabiner off of the adjustable bridge, and all of the excess tags and straps that I was able to take off there. All of this weight probably equates to about 3 or 4 pounds. So I've lightened that setup up significantly, and the only thing I replaced it with is my lineman's belt that I normally run with. Now I use a homemade lineman's belt. This also doubles as my tether. It's got some climbing grade carabiners on it and a mechanical prusik, and that's what I'm running in place of all this. So I got my modded saddle, I got my lineman's belt that doubles as a tether, and I've got my platform. That is going to be the saddle setup that I'm going to run with. Now that we've got our saddle modded, I'm going to put it back into the bag, and we're going to weigh just the saddle. I think it's only fair, since they included a tether with this, that I put my tether that I'm going to use with it in the bag. That way we get an accurate reading of how much this saddle weighs. Okay, got my scale zeroed out. Putting the saddle on the scale. and we're roughly 1.5 pounds. Pretty decent weight considering where we started. Now the platform, I wanted to weigh with the 1 versus strap on it to give a pretty accurate weight on what the platform's going to be. Still zeroed out. Hooking up to our platform, and I am showing just over 5 pounds. Right at just a hair over 5 pounds, maybe 5.1. So I'm guessing the people that are weighing this in the other videos have those little backpack straps on them that are getting them closer to that 6 pound mark. Mine is just over 5, and I mean just barely over 5. So pretty decent weight on that as well, although it is a little bit heavier compared to other platforms. Well guys, the next thing we gotta do is we gotta get this out in the field. We wanna put it in a tree. We want to climb up in that tree. We want to swing around in the saddle, see how well the platform locks into the tree, how easy it is to shoot around the tree utilizing the platform, and everything that comes with that. So next time you see me, we'll be outside, and we will be putting this saddle through a shooting test. See you outside. All right, guys, I've spent a ton of time in this saddle now. I'm going to tell you what I like about it. We'll go over a few things that I don't like, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on this exact setup. I'm going to start with the platform. I absolutely love this platform. It's closer to a small tree stand than it is a platform. It's got plenty of room. In fact, my feet, I think, fit on it front to back, and I wear a size 10.5. I can stand up and completely turn around on this thing. So as far as space goes, you have no room for concern there. It's got built-in accessory hooks that you can use to wrap paracord for retrieving your bow or whatever once you get up in the tree stand, so that was nice. And as far as like setting up and biting into the tree, it does a really, really good job. This thing is super solid. There is no play sideways. It doesn't try to walk away from the tree when you're standing on it. So in terms of like safety and security, it gets an A+ in my book. The only thing I didn't like about this thing was the weight. Compared to like the other platforms that are out there and available for saddle hunting, it's a couple pounds heavier. With that being said, it is still about 4 pounds lighter than my tree stand, so even though it's slightly heavier than some of the other platforms out there, it still is lighter than most tree stands, so that's the only gripe I had about the platform. So I had some mixed feelings on the saddle. I'll start with the things I liked, and then we'll move into the things I didn't like. For the saddle, my favorite thing about this thing was how easy it was to put on and take off. Once you remove all the stuff that's intended for use if it's a safety harness, it is very straightforward, not confusing at all. There's only 3 straps, 1 on each leg and 1 right across the middle, and you're hooked into this thing. The second thing I liked was the suspenders being included on the saddle. I plan to wear this thing in with me and wear it out with me, so it's one less thing I have to put in my pack, and that's going to make that super easy to wear in and wear out by having the suspenders built directly into the saddle. So now we'll move into the things I did not like about this saddle. For starters, where it sits right here, it feels like it could come down a little bit more and cradle the bottom of the butt and the thighs more, because it always feels like it's going to slip up or ride up, even if I tighten all these leg straps. Like I've played with the combinations a million times, and I cannot get this thing to feel like it's going to be comfortable when I sit. Now if I lean, it's no problem, but it always feels like it's going to ride up. So that's one thing I don't like about this saddle. The second thing I don't like is that the leg straps tend to dig into my legs. When I get them tight enough that the saddle isn't going to ride up so bad, they really dig into the legs. Now as I sit here, it's not too bad. I'm pretty comfortable. But if I go to move in like this, the saddle starts to ride up, the straps start to dig, or if I go to turn, I can really feel the pressure on whatever leg it is that I'm trying to turn on, and it gets pretty uncomfortable. With that being said, the only reason I would ever be needing to turn like that is if I'm going to put a shot on a deer, and I can deal with the 20 or 30 seconds uncomfort, in that scenario. But it is there, and it is something I didn't like about the saddle. Well guys, now we'll go into the final part of the video, and I'll tell you basically my overview of this thing, and that is that I think it's a great deal. It's only $200. You get a saddle and a platform that is insane, no matter how you want to slice it. And I can't imagine a scenario where someone would feel bad about this purchase. If you're a die-hard stand guy like myself, and you want to dip your toes into saddle hunting, or you just want the option, if you're filming with a buddy, or you think there's a tree that would just be good for saddle hunting, and every once in a while you might want to do it, you can buy this and not feel bad about it. It's a great purchase. With that being said, it is more of an economy, or like an entry-level setup. The platform I don't think I would ever change. I like it. I can deal with the extra 2 pounds for the size of this thing. I can literally stand up on it and turn around. It's like a mini tree stand, and that I like. That has some value to me. The saddle itself, however, I think that it could be a little bit more comfortable if they made it a little bit bigger, to where it cradled your bottom a little bit more and took some support off of your the back of your upper legs, and then made the straps up front where they didn't pinch so bad. It would be beautiful. But with that being said, it is an entry-level saddle, so I think if I do decide to keep saddle hunting, I will ultimately end up in something a little bit more premium, but that's just what I think. Well guys, that is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching, and hopefully it helped you make up your mind one way or the other if you were thinking about a purchase on this. A lot of the other videos on my channel are hunting based, specifically they're deer hunting based, and more specifically they're catch, clean, cook videos. So shows the hunt, shows the cleaning, and shows the consumption of the game. If you're into that kind of thing, you're really going to enjoy the other content on the channel. As this video ends, 2 videos are going to pop up. I would highly encourage you to watch the one that's titled Schwack. It's an early season doe kill. I was able to get great footage, and then we ate the deer. It's an awesome video. I hope you'll check it out. The other video I'm going to throw up there is a DIY pronghorn hunt I did last year in Wyoming. Super cool video. Lots of frustrations in it, but it's worth a watch as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck in the woods.